First of all, Craig, obviously a 3-1 defeat to Celtic last time out, but just how do you reflect on that one?
Yeah, a little bit disappointed. I thought we did enough in the match to certainly run Celtic closer than the scoreline suggests. But there was a lot of good stuff in the performance to allow us again to talk positively about the game and what we can take out of it.
And obviously, Eiling Yaisemi getting the goal, and I'm sure that'll kind of fill him with confidence going forward now. Just how pleased were you for him to get that one over the line?
Well, he just got it over the line, didn't he? It was a bit of a stramash, as I say. Yeah, he was in the right place. He's a striker, and he managed to force the ball over the line. But I thought he played well in the game, so I'm pleased for him. It's difficult when you go into a new side and as a manager, and Andy obviously the assistant, and try and assess players. It takes a little bit longer than you would like, because you need to see them in training sessions where they're stressed at times, and in matches where they're stressed at times, to see how they deal with it. Yeah, so it was good to get him on the field to see what he could do to help us, and there's encouragement to be taken from that for sure.
And obviously straight back into action now with St Mirren tomorrow. Just what are your thoughts ahead of that one?
Yeah, it's coming up to the festive period. It's always a fairly hectic time. So yeah, we've got another game tomorrow. What I'd like to do in the game tomorrow is a lot of the good things that we did against Celtic, but get 3 more points than we got against Celtic. That would be our intention. And hopefully we can play some good football, score some goals, and put the points in our pocket when we leave here tomorrow night.
And just what are you expecting from St Mirren when they come to McDiarmid Park?
Stephen's a great coach, and his teams are always well organised. His recruitment's good, and his teams are thinking particularly about Motherwell recently, and he's doing the same now at St Mirren, where they were difficult to break down, and they were dangerous on the break. So this will be a typical Premier League fight, I would say. And I'm looking forward to the game.
And obviously coming again at home after Sunday's game, and you've kind of talked a little bit about despite 2 defeats in the last 2 games, the performances have been pretty good despite the results, and I suppose that the kind of fans are appreciating that as well. Hopefully it can give you a good backing again tomorrow. Yeah, well,
we're trying really hard. That's one thing I'd say to the supporters about what the players on the field are doing. They're working their backsides off. Which I think as a supporter that you don't expect anything less, but believe me, it doesn't always happen. So yeah, they're fighting, they're running, they're chasing, they're trying very hard, they're throwing themselves in front of shots to block them and stuff. So the attitude's pretty good. I'm pleased with it, and there's things that we can get better at, and we're starting to see some of those things even against Celtic. We had some really good passages of play that gave me encouragement. And hopefully we can continue on this sort of upward trajectory, and we'll see what happens.
And just finally for myself, how's the team news looking?
Good question. Who have we got out? I don't know if Andy's going to make it tomorrow. It looks sort of touch and go with him. He's got a problem with his heel that he picked up in what game was it? The Hearts game. Yeah. So Andy's a doubt. Obviously Nicky's out at the moment, and there's other lads who are out at the moment. But I'm just trying to think. From the other night, I don't think there are any additional injuries or illnesses that I can think of anyway.
Thank you very much.
Looking at that performance on Sunday, and sort of the performance and the play at hand, do you feel like it is a step in the right direction for the squad, considering their sort of head-to-head play they had with the league leaders at the moment?
Yeah, I mean it was a cat and mouse situation, and I think there was enough there for me to think that there's been improvement in the way that we, not just in the way that we as I spoke about earlier on, their attitude and their willingness to run and all that sort of things. I don't mean that. I just think that we're just taking a little bit more risk, and there was maybe 8 or 9 examples of it in the Celtic game where we just took a breath and took control of the ball and took control of the game for a small period of time, admittedly, but so that's an improvement for me, because that us having the ball for longer periods of time, I think, will give us a better chance of scoring and creating. So that's the plan, and no reason not to stick to it, because I see enough, as I said, to give me clear evidence that things are getting better.
And there's players who've been underutilised, I suppose you could say, previously in the season, and I'm thinking about Ryan McGowan, DJ for example. What's your response, do you think, to them being handed a second chance and play for them?
I think the players at this football club, and it's up to the managers to decide, and I'm not going to criticise anybody. I've been in enough situations where I've made a backside of it myself to sit. I wouldn't sit here and criticise anybody who's been here before and what they did. That's not my job. Ryan came back into the squad because he was doing well in training, and he's an experienced player. DJ, we didn't have an awful lot of opportunity to watch him play. We didn't know an awful lot about him. He has shown some signs in training of showing different things from some of the other strikers that we have. And that's, he's worked hard in training and he deserved an opportunity. So I can only look at the players through my eyes, not through anybody else's.
And just lastly from me, looking into this game against St Mirren, the last time the club faced them in that result and that defeat there is the reason you're here now, Craig. Does that give you a sort of sense of nerves going into that game against them, or do you just want to sort of bring it heavy-handed and go for it?
Yeah. I'm not any more nervous about this game than I was the last game or the game before that. My job is to keep the players calm, make sure they go out and perform to their utmost on the field, and to try and get a result for everybody, so that supports and works for and wants St Johnstone to do well.